Welcome back to Crunch Time, where we're in the kitchen and it's a real family vibe today. We're making family pie. Now, the first thing to making pie is having a great short crust pastry. And so, Nick, I'm going to get you and Killian right onto that pastry. I want you to pop the flour and the butter into the food processor. And the key with pastry like this
Get it
is
all
to go
in there.
fast. So pop it all in. Excellent.
Nice.
And the butter as well. And if you don't have a food processor at home, you can just rub it in with your fingers in a bowl. So the reason that the butter is cut into little cubes and it's chilled butter is because it helps to create a really nice short crust. Now start pulsing, Nick. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Lovely. And you just do this until it's all rubbed in. Let's have a look. Now, is it a lovely little, is all the butter combined?
It's all combined.
Yeah, we call this rubbing in. Now you can pop it back on and just press start. And then you're going to start pouring the water very slowly. It's okay. Yeah, you're good. All right. Now, meanwhile, Olivia, I want to talk to you about the sort of stuff that you make, because you make some pastry at home, don't you?
Yeah.
What sort of pastry are you making?
Fortune cookies. Pancakes a lot, actually.
Pancakes, great work. So we're going to bring this out onto the bench. In fact, Olivia, that's your job. Bring some of that flour onto the bench.
Blade.
Now, why do we flour the bench? You know this bit.
To help it stick and make it a better bread.
Exactly. That's right. So we don't want it to stick to the bench. Okay. Do you want to bring it over? Oh, lovely work. Great. Okay, turn it out onto the bench.
All of it?
Yep, all of it. And as with your pancake batter, and especially as you were saying, fortune cookies, how do you make a fortune cookie dough? Do you work it a lot, or do you just sort of just a little bit to bring it together?
Not much, actually.
Lovely.
Yeah, probably the easiest way is to go to a Chinese restaurant.
You definitely could, but as with all things, they always taste better when you make them yourself. So I'm just going to separate this into 2 balls. Here we go. Nick, did you want to work with that little ball? And Killian, here we are, and Olivia. We're going to make that into a flat disc shape.
Yeah.
Flat disc. Yeah. Definitely use the hand slap there. It's a great technique.
The hand slap, but as you can see, we're not overworking the pastry
Just get
because
some flour here too.
unlike bread dough, we don't want
Can I borrow the
to
flour?
activate. Brilliant. We don't want to activate the gluten. We don't want it all to stick together. We actually want the shortness, that fluffiness. Okay. So this one, Olivia, do you want to pop that in the plastic? Great. So we're going to close that up. Fabulous. And pop that in the fridge for about 20 minutes. We call this resting, and we want the gluten to relax again. That's great. And do you want to bring out the one that's been resting? So now we've got 2 discs, one that's bigger and one that's smaller. The bigger disc is for the pie base. And what do you think the little disc is for?
The top.
The top, exactly. So that goes on the top, that goes on the bottom. So we're going to start with the bottom disc, and I'm going to get Nick and Killian on rolling duty. I want you to roll it out to about 1 centimetre thick. There we go. And Olivia, meanwhile, I'm going to get you on flattening duty of this one. What you can do is you can actually just roll from the inside out, and then what that'll do, it'll make it a lot easier. There we go. Do you want to start
What's
again?
hardest, swimming butterfly or doing
Lovely.
this?
All right.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Way harder.
It's
Yeah.
good exercise.
You weren't stretching, though.
Yeah, you never see an unfit pastry chef. They're the ones that have the biggest muscles in the kitchen.
Well, they're probably eating a lot of pastry, I guess. So.
Well, I've got a few friends that are pastry chefs. They taste, but they don't eat the whole pastry because, especially when you're working around it all day, you kind of get sick of it.
Oh.
Killian, do you ever get sick of the beach?
No.
No,
It's actually really fun.
Probably because he's not tasting it, I would imagine. You'd get pretty sick of the
You'd hope
sand quickly, I
not.
would have
That's
thought.
right. Okay, well,
that's 1 centimetre,
let's
I think.
move on. We've got the pastry ready to go on top and on the bottom. So let's leave that aside just over here. And Olivia, I want you to grab the pie tin and there we go, the pie dish, and the pie bird.
Ooh.
Okay, thank you very much for this. Now you've done all the hard work, so I'd like you to lay that down. Wonderful.
And do you
start
grease?
stretching.
Do you grease the bottom of the bowl?
The bottom of the bowl is greased, so you can
Okay.
grease it with butter or you can spray it with cooking spray. So just press it out now, and I want you to press it all the way up the sides of the tray. And Olivia, you might like to help Killian with that one.
Nice. It's the texture of the pastry reminds me it's quite bare, somewhat resembling that of a sphinx, maybe.
Yes, you have got to be kidding me right now, Nick. I don't know how you got that one in there, but you did. Great work.
That's looking good.
Oh, it is looking good, but I tell you what looks even better. Nick, why don't you grab this cold casserole dish? Yes. And Killian, grab the spoon for me. Now, make sure that this is cold because you don't want to cook the pastry when you put the leftovers in, but this is a really great way of using up leftover casserole. Who makes casserole at home? Brilliant, so you know exactly what you're going for. So I'd like you to scoop that in. There we go. Yeah, look at that.
Yum.
Give that a smell. Olivia, tell us what we could be smelling if we make this at home.
A lot of beef.
A lot of beef. So this is a beef one, but you can make this with chicken, with fish. You could even make a vegetarian pie. It's just about using up what you've got in the house. And we might leave that little bay leaf out. Great. That's just for flavour, not so much for texture. Excellent. Olivia, do you want to go as well? Lovely.
Go big here, Olivia. Get it all in. I don't want any blank air in my pie.
No, that's very true. If you want the recipe for the casserole or for the pie itself, you can head to our website.
Nice.
Lovely work.
Give it the old flick there. Nice.
And I'd recommend you do because this smells so good.
It does.
Just wait till
Smells
you
great,
see when
doesn't
it's done.
it, Killian? Oh.
Killian, what's your favourite pie filling?
Probably beef.
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 A fine choice.
Olivia, have you made a spaghetti bolognese pie before?
No, I've just...
Yeah, maybe that's something you could add to your list.
Yes, it's definitely a thing. All right, now this is the final part. So what I'm going to get you to do is
where
pop
does
the
the bird
bird in
go?
the middle. Yep. Good. Olivia, you've done all that hard work, so lay that on top. Yes, wonderful. That pie bird is going to help let the steam out. So you can just kind of... There we go. All right, now I'd like you to spread it out, use your fingers.
This is a fun hands-on dish, isn't it? It's nice to use.
Absolutely. That's what I love about pies. The more rustic they look, the clearer it is that you made it at home. And people love homemade pies like nothing else. Okay, the final bit, looking great, is to brush it with egg wash to give it some lovely glaze. There we go. Brush, brush, brush. And when that's all brushed and glazed, you're going to pop that in the oven for about 40 minutes at 200 degrees.
Great brushing style there, Olivia. Do you do much painting?
A little bit.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yes. Okay, Nick, your job is to go into the oven and get out our pie. Killian, do you want to go of brushing the outside?
Yes.
Make sure it's all
We've got
lovely
the bird
and
in here,
glazed.
so it's a bit like a cuckoo clock, isn't it?
It is. I am cuckoo for these pies.
Cuckoo. Cuckoo. Great, fantastic. Look at that. Hot pie, hot pot.
Yep.
There's just a, yep, perfect.
Okay, so here you have the completed pie. Olivia, your nose has served us well. What are you smelling?
Smells very good.
Smells very good. Killian, have we got some descriptive words?
Yeah, very good as well.
Very good. They're speechless because tell you what, once you go a homemade pie, you won't go back. It's time to cut. I'm going to do the honours. Let's have a look at the inside of this pie.
The moment of truth.
Yes. Oh. This is a very Australian pie, I think. Look at those lovely casserole ingredients.
Yeah,
now
you
grab
betcha.
those plates for me, Nick,
Fantastic.
and we'll see if we've got a little spatula handy.
You know what? I reckon we can plate these up and we can sample them as well.
Yes. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yum. Look at that pastry. Look at the inside. Looking good. Whoops.
Nice job, Alice. Well, we're going to plate these up. We're going to then eat them. But then we've got more activities coming up on the other side of this short break.